Matches in CPL 2020 come thick and fast. It's time for Barbados Tridents against St. Lucia's Zouks. It's time for my 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo. Let's get Daren Ganga's views. Right, let's start with our pro tip then. And it's an interesting conundrum that the Barbados Tridents are in. There are just 3 overseas players in that Trident squad. So you can pretty much back all 3 players whenever the Tridents play in your fantasy team. Also, plenty of all-rounders in this matchup. So best to pick all of them to maximize your chances of scoring points. Given, of course, Daren Ganga, that in 2020 cricket and in fantasies, you tend to get your all-rounders giving you plenty of points.
Yeah, I like that. I like that advice to all those persons playing this fantasy league. What I'd also like to add is the fact that this St. Lucia Zouks team, since the start of CPL, they've only qualified in the top 4 on 1 occasion. And that's a worry. That's a concern. They've already lost their first game. So easily, if they don't get things together, they can go in that downward spiral. However, what I'm optimistic about, Andy Flower, is the new coach of this team, and he's a no-nonsense sort of guy. So they will and should make the right decisions, and we're hoping that the contest would be a good one against the defending champions.
All right, let's go into our team then. Before that, remind all our viewers that on the My 11 Circle Fantasy app, you've got 100 credits within which you've got to pick your fantasy team. 4 categories of players: batsmen, bowlers, wicket keepers, and all-rounders. You can pick a maximum of 7 players from one team in a particular contest, and every player's individual credit value is right there on the app. Let's kickstart with our captain and vice-captain, and our Afghanistan fans would like these choices. Rashid Khan is our captain choice. What a freak start to his CPL 2020 with bat. Make no mistake, he's not just one of the premier T20 bowlers in the world. He could very well get 2 points with the bat as well. And we saw that. Helped his side get over the line against the Patriots in the opening game for the Trident. So let's keep an eye out for how Rashid Khan goes. Second up, Mohammad Nabi. So Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi are our captain and vice-captain choices. His role as an all-rounder, as we mentioned in our pro tip, is that of an important one. He's a street-smart cricketer, and we're backing somebody like Mohammad Nabi, who's a bit below par in that opening game, but you expect him to come good more often than not. Captains give you double the points, vice-captains give you 1.5 times the points, so make sure you pick them real carefully. In our top picks, Shai Hope features so highly rated across the board in West Indies cricket. But we're hoping that his white ball form, which hasn't quite been up to that standard we expect from Shai Hope, gets back sooner rather than later. And Rakeem Cornwall features as well. Now, he's a bit of a hit or miss, Rakeem Cornwall. But if he does hit, he could get you some very handy points. Again, an all-round option, so you might as well back someone like Rakeem Cornwall. Rashid Khan and Mohammad Nabi then as captain and vice-captain. And Shai Hope and Rakeem Cornwall. They're an interesting ones. What do you make of those top picks?
Well, I agree with you and concur with Rashid Khan. Mohammad Nabi, he's been underutilized a bit with the ball in that first game that St. Lucia Zouks played. So I think Darren Sammy will have to make sure that he uses him with the ball wisely. The other thing is Shai Hope, he hasn't shown the sort of form that we've seen from him in ODI cricket. He's probably 1 innings away from giving us his best. I have a little bit of a question mark over Rakeem Cornwall. We saw him in that solitary test match that he played in England. He was hitting across the line of the ball, and he didn't really look that fluent in the first game that the Zouks played. I would probably go with an Andre Fletcher if I'm looking for someone that has shown good fluency, good form. He's a veteran in CPL, so that might be my only change to what you just gave us in terms of those picks.
I tell you what, we'll probably squeeze in Andre Fletcher in this team anyway, but Daren Ganga has given you his preference of players. It's already that time of the tournament, Darren, that I should point out that this is the collective wisdom of the ESPN Cricinfo data and analysis team, and therefore we feel free to disagree with them because the value picks are 2 players that didn't quite have the best opening games, and they still are value picks. I know you rate Raymond Reifer pretty highly, but he didn't have the best start to CPL 2020, nor did Zahir Khan, the Afghan wrist spinner. So they're both in our value picks, but make sure that you look at their numbers beyond just the one-off game. It's only early days in the CPL 2020. And someone like Raymond Reifer with a pretty good economy rate last season of just over 7.5 and picked up 14 wickets, excellent strike rate. So that's someone that we're backing in our value pick. So too, Zahir Khan, who still has a bit of mystery spin about him. Raymond Reifer and Zahir Khan are value picks, and in our entire team then, Shai Hope and Andre Fletcher featured. Darren's already rated Fletcher pretty highly. Johnson Charles, Corey Anderson, Jason Holder, Mohammad Nabi as our vice-captain choice. Mitch Santner had such a good game first up in the CPL. Raymond Reefer and Raheem Cornwall. And we've got Rashid Khan, who's our captain choice, and his compatriot Zahir Khan as well. Quick thoughts on that, Daren?
Well, what's going in favour of Zahir Khan is the fact that it will be the first of 2 matches on day 3 of Euro CPL 2020. So conditions usually a bit drier than that second game that is played at 5:30 p.m. local time. So I think having the opportunity to grip the ball and be at his best would be an advantage. We also need to take into consideration he's very young, only 21 years of age. So there is room for improvement and development. Another pick that I think might be an outside chance of bringing points is that of Kyle Mayers. He scored a quick-fire 30 in that first game. He's a wonderful striker of the cricket ball. He can bowl as well. We've been talking about all-rounders. He's another person that you might want to include in your squad.
All right, there's an extra option thrown in by Daren Ganga. Thank you very much, Daren. The team that we've given you should squeeze in within those 100 credits available on the My 11 Circle app, and we'll be back with plenty more analysis and expert opinion to help you pick your fantasy team on My 11 Circle Fantasy Pick on ESPN Cricinfo.